So a lot has been said about the Xavien Howard situation. So I'm going to do a deeper dive into that, look very deep into his stats, his contract, what's going on, and I'm going to give you guys my final opinion on what the Dolphins should do with Xavien Howard. What is up, Fin fans? Yes. Today we're going to be talking about Xavien Howard very in-depthly. I've done a ton of research, a ton of stats, contracts, all of these good things to give us a full understanding of where Xavien Howard's coming from with his displeasure and his whatever with the team. But before we jump into that good stuff, I got to shout out a few people. First off, Mike Favra got himself some DDW merch. If you guys want to get some, it's literally, you can see the pictures are right under this video. Go grab yourself some. Also, new Patreons. I got two, Michael Gallo and William Riegelman. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. And I have two new members, Jim Gallagher and Michelle Migliardi. Thank you guys so much. I also, for the Patreons, I have a special promo code for one of the guys I work with that has some fantastic stuff. Don't want to give it away, but if you're a Patreon or you're thinking of joining the Patreon, you're going to get 20% off on something really cool. I'm going to post that on the Patreon and in the Discord. So to all my Patreons, you're getting to get yourself a little treat. They just hit me up today saying, hey, we want to work with you. We want to get something out to your Patreons, make it more enticing to join the Patreon. So there is that. So let's jump into this Mamma Jam. So Xavien Howard wants a better contract, a bigger contract, more money, less money, this money, that money. He's just upset with the contract he has now. So I thought, let's look at Xavien Howard in full detail, right? So I'm going to talk about Xavien Howard in full detail. So 2016, he was a second round pick, 38th overall. Who was close to 38th overall? That is Xavien Howard, who was 36th overall. Coincidence? No, not at all. One's a safety, one's a corner. So in 2016, his rookie year, he only played 8 games. He allowed 59.6% of his passes to be caught. He was targeted 52 times for 31 receptions. He only had 1 interception, and he allowed 471 yards. For a rookie, it's all right. Jeff Okudah did way worse, and he was a first-round pick, so it's all right. And then 2017, full season, he played 16 games in 2017. He allowed 52.5% of his passes towards his way caught. 80 targets for 42 receptions, so he did get better. 4 interceptions on that year, 482 receiving yards. Then in 2018, he only played 12 games. Again, down a little bit. He allowed 50.9% of his passes with 57 targets in 29 receptions, 7 interceptions on that game. So in 12 games, he caught 7 interceptions and 469 yards. So if you noticed, his first 3 years, he was getting better and better and better and better. And then in 2019, where he got his contract, he got his new contract extension, and we will talk about contracts after I get done talking about his stats. 2019, obviously the bad year we had. He only played 5 games. He was dealing with an injury to his knee. He allowed 66.7% receptions towards his way. Not very good. 24 targets, 16 receptions, only 1 interception, and 219 receiving yards. And this past year, the All-Pro, Pro Bowl, should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Played all 16 games. He played the full entire season. He allowed 52.2% of the passes gone his way caught. 90 targets for 47 receptions, 10 interceptions, and 695 yards. So, like I said, you notice his first 3 years, he was getting better and better and better. Then he had the slump in 2019, only played 5 games. And then in 2020, this past year, had a fantastic year. And that's why all of a sudden he's like, I think I deserve a little bit more money. If you look at the contract he signed in 2019, it was a 5-year, $75.2 million contract with 27.1 or 27.2 guaranteed at the contract signing, total guarantee of 39.2 million. His discrepancy is, from what I'm hearing, is after this year. So this year his cap hit is 13.5 million, and if we cut him, it's a dead cap of 16.275 million. What I'm hearing, and this is one of the rumors, is after this year, the Dolphins can get rid of him, and it's only going to cost them 2.8 million in dead money. So essentially, if the Dolphins cut him after signing his 5-year contract, he got 2 years of guaranteed money. After this year, if the Dolphins cut him, he will be leaving $39.3 million on the table. So that's where his wanting more guaranteed money. You know, the Dolphins took a bet on him, right, in 2019 because he had that injury, only played 5 games, but they saw something from 2016 to 2017 to 2018. He was constantly getting better every year. So they saw something, so they took a gamble on him, and they structured the contract in a way that the first 2 years you're going to get a ton of money in 2020 and 2021. But then after that, if you struggle, if you do bad, and for anything, we can cut you and not deal with it, which Xavien Howard doesn't like. In that case, of his $75 million on the 5-year contract, he's not getting $39.3 million. So about a little over a half of the contract, he's never going to get nor see. So in his mind, I just did a 10 interception season. Rarely ever happens. I think I deserved a little bit more guarantee, a little bit more comfort, a little bit more security that I'm not going to be moved around. I'm not going to be cut, traded, this, or that after this year, which I wholeheartedly agree. The man signs a 5-year, $75 million contract. Don't you think he deserves the $75 million? Just like the fact that people are upset with him sitting out, not going to minicamp. We'll see about training camp. Well, you signed the 5-year, $75 million, played to that money. Well, if he's cut this year, he's not getting the $75 million. He's losing $39.3 million. So what I did was I looked at his ranking, right? So as of right now, where does he rank in total value of his contract? He ranks 4th in the NFL behind Jalen Ramsey, Marlon Humphrey, and Byron Jones. Byron Jones got an $82.5 million contract, right? So he is 4th in the NFL at corner in the total value. But when you look at his guarantee money, if you look at his guaranteed at signing, he is ranked 9th in the NFL. Denzel Ward got more guaranteed. James Bradbury, Stephon Gilmore, Jeff Okudah, Tre'Davious White, and then, so that's where his discrepancy is. One of you guys said to me, well, what was his ranking when he signed the contract in 2019? He was 1st in both, in value and in guaranteed money. He was the top paid corner and got the most guaranteed money at the time in 2019. So again, the Dolphins took a chance on this guy. The Dolphins, he has been dealing with injuries, all that stuff. Jason Sarney sent me this fantastic little stat, right? From 2018 to now, when you look at the most interceptions in the NFL, Xavien Howard is number 1 with 22. Then you have Kevin Byard, 18, J.C. Jackson, 17, Marcus Peters, 17, Harrison Smith, 16, Tre'Davious White, 15, Tyrann Mathieu, 14, and Darius Slay, 14. The funny stat about that is when you look at the games played, Xavien Howard has the least amount of games played with 33 games. So again, when the Dolphins went out and they gave him this contract in 2019, they took a big gamble because, again, before he had these 10 interceptions, he wasn't playing much. 8 games his rookie year, 16 his second year, 12, and then 5. So he had one full season. He had that 7 interception game, but the Dolphins took a chance, and that's why they gave him the type of contract they gave him. But you look at it, right? 33 games, and he has the most interceptions since 2018 to now. How do you not, look at that and go, that's an interesting stat. And then the bigger question too, and this is going to be the last stat, and then I'll give you guys my opinion, is what value would we get for Xavien Howard, right? If we trade Xavien Howard, what are we saving? Now, I talked about this in Comment of the Day for one of my videos, I think on Monday. If the Dolphins trade Xavien Howard, they will have to deal with a dead cap of around $2 million, but they will have a savings of like $12.1 million. So they'll have a big chunk of change left over, because I think they're sitting right now at 8 or 9 million, have about 20 million in cap space if they do trade Xavien Howard. And also, what is he worth in a trade? You know, a first, a second, 2 seconds, a first and a third, first and a player, second and a player. What is he worth? It all depends on the team that's trading for him and their thoughts of the need. Like, what is their need? Because, again, Xavien Howard just came off a 10 interception year, played a full season, has some fantastic numbers, but he has shown that he has a hard time staying on the field. And that was always my biggest knock with Xavien Howard, is when that man's on the field, he is dangerous. He is one of the best, if not the best corner in the league when he's on the field. But only playing 5 games in 2019, 12 games in 2018. You know, this is his second full season in 5 years. That doesn't bode well for what is he worth. If you ever want to get the most in a trade for him, it's right now. Because his ceiling is super high coming off that 10 interception year. So if I'm the Dolphins, what do? I would sit down with him. And again, remember, I am an incredibly big Xavien Howard fan. I'd sit down with him. You know, I understand where Xavien Howard's coming from, right? He signed the contract, and it was a prove-it contract. It was a show us you could stay healthy contract. You have 2 years. The last 3 are nothing. I remember when he signed the contract, everyone was like, they gave him so much money. Look, he's going to lose out on $39 million if they cut him this year. Even if they trade him, he's going to lose out on what? $51 million, give or take. You know, we get $12 million back. He only got about 25% of that contract. So I see where he's coming from when it comes to the aspect of, I want more security. That's the biggest thing for football players. They want that security. Now, on the flip, Dolphins want that security. You're going to be on the field. Dolphins want that security. I'll take another 2018 where we got 7 interceptions. We don't need 10. I'll take that again. That's the security that the Dolphins want. I'd sit down with Xavien Howard. I'd talk to him. I'd say, all right, what do you want? How can we structure this? We'll give you more guaranteed money. We don't feel comfortable giving you more money right now. Maybe make next year, instead of $2 million guaranteed, maybe we bump it up to like whatever guaranteed. Talk about that. Talk about incentive-based contracts. We need you on the field. We don't even, the production will be there if he's on the field. We just need him on the field. So gameplay and Pro Bowl and playoff play, which is hard to do for positions. Quarterback, it's easier. But for other positions, Pro Bowl and, even playoff games played is hard to do because he had a 10 interception year and they didn't make the playoffs. So it's not really on him. That's what I would do. But if he's being super, I want to be the number 1 paid corner in the league and I want this and I want that, after he just signed it a year ago, I don't know if I would do it. Just because of the fact of you're getting guaranteed money this year. Let's see how you do this year. If that's what you want, if you want to be the top paid, corner and you want that huge check and you want to beat out Jalen Ramsey, who's making $100 million and he's got 71 million guaranteed. Like, you want this big fat check. Show us you can do it again. Show us you can play another 17 game season now, and you can produce again, and we'll give it to you. That's what I would do. And if he's like, nope, I want it now, this, and that, then unfortunately I'd trade him. And again, what would we get? It all depends on the needy team and what would they want. And, at the time of the draft, I would have went to Dallas and been like, hey, just give us your first and we'll send you Xavien Howard. And then I would have used that first on Patrick Surtain. But supposedly the Dolphins really like Trill Williams. He's playing really well. So is Noah Benogany. He's playing really well. Supposedly they like their corners a lot. So we'll see how this all plays out. But me personally, I would try to work this out with Xavien Howard. The combination of him and Byron Jones is a big reason why the defense was as good as it was last year, because that front four wasn't. We hit the blitz 47% of the time, and a lot of it had to do with the corners shutting down these wide receivers. So I would like to keep him, and I'd like to keep this duo of Howard and Jones at least for one more year, maybe 2 more years. So I would try to sit down and talk with him, but if they can't come to an agreement before the 27th of July, because I'm not having this drama go into training camp, then I'd probably trade him. But comment below. I know you guys have a big, it's one side or the other with this, but be sure to comment below. I gave you all the stats. I gave you the contract breakdown. I gave you, his value ranking and all that stuff and how much we'd get in savings. Comment below. You trading him? You keeping him? Do you understand where he's coming from? Or do you still think stop being a baby, get on the field? Comment below, and I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. Now, this comment comes from Chris Doherty, and he says, do you think Albert Wilson getting reps on the outside and the Dolphins liking what they are seeing could be a glimpse of us maybe not keeping Mike Gesicki? And if you're wondering what he's talking about, Barry Jackson came out with an article where he said a couple of things we're hearing. The Dolphins have been very happy with how receiver Albert Wilson looked in the offseason program, and even using him some outside because Jalen Waddle projects as their slot receiver. A player insisted to me that the team were really impressed with Tua growth and his offseason, many of the team believe he's going to be really good. That last part, I don't know why it was in the paragraph, but I'm very happy to hear that, and I'm very happy that this team is backing Tua. But to the question about Albert Wilson, kicking Albert Wilson to the outside doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to affect Mike Gesicki. Gesicki, when it came to where he played, he did play outside, but not as much as you would think. He played more in the slot and more in that inline, not the inline, because the inline's against the tackle, but that seam. He was a seam threat and all that. So I don't think Wilson going to the outside necessarily will affect Mike Gesicki, but I think the thing that will affect Mike Gesicki is the amount of talent we added on the team and what they do with Hunter Long. Now, is Hunter Long Durham Smythe's replacement, or is Hunter Long Mike Gesicki's replacement? Durham Smythe and Mike Gesicki are both up for a new contract. They're both not going to get one. Is it going to be Smythe or is it going to be Gesicki? Again, this next month is going to be very telling of who gets the next contract. Is it going to be Gesicki? Is it going to be Agba? Is it going to be Xavien Howard? Is it going to be Smythe? There's a lot of pending free agents that need to be decided, and I don't see it happening in training camp. It could. Very well could. But I see this is the time to do it. But I think if I'm the Dolphins right now, the 2 guys I'm seriously focusing on are Emmanuel Agba and Xavien Howard. I am settling those 2 situations right now. Emmanuel Agba did fantastic things for the Dolphins last year. I think he should be the next one. And I think they should seriously sit down with Xavien Howard and really get that situated. But that's what I got for you. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, I sat down with the intern, Patrick Laird. It was very nice of him to sit down with me. We talked about a lot of cool things. He has, I think on the 27th, or the 27th, I think he said, that auction. So be sure to check out that last video. Check out Backroom Collections with their fantastic artwork. If you use the promo code DDW, you get yourself 10% off on ton of great art. I'm probably popping it up around my head as I'm talking about them. Also, check out Patch Vibes. They got stickers now. They got patches. They got t-shirts. All that great stuff. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 20% off on them. And check out Miami Sports Music. Fantastic YouTube channel and website that I'm a part of. TD is a part of. Now K-Flexon's a part of. Be sure to check that out. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to be breaking down the corners. And if any other news breaks, I will give you that. There's some things happening in the NFL right now, like the Steelers releasing David DeCastro, but I'm hearing he's potentially going to retire. Then they signed Trey Turner. So there's a lot of things happening. So if the Dolphins end up signing somebody or the Dolphins end up making a move, I'll make you a video. But other than that, guys, I'll see you on Monday. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Try to relax. And if you're not working, if you are working, hope it's a smooth day for you. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.